Memorial Arena, the Canadian women getting set for the team event. Canada, the two-time defending champions, looking for a third gold medal in a row at these Commonwealth Games. And Alfie, the crowd just loves women's gymnastics. Even more exciting this time in Victoria because the level of expertise amongst the women dramatically on the rise in the Commonwealth countries.
Well, Scott, the reason for that is coaching. Before the '92 Olympic Games in Barcelona, gymnastics in the Soviet Union was their passion. Well, many of these coaches have since left their homeland to share their expertise around the world, and countries that have benefited from their expertise have been the countries within the Commonwealth. Countries like Northern Ireland, where former Soviet superstar Maria Filatova now plies her trade. Back in 1976 at the Montreal Olympics, Filatova was a teenage sensation, an Olympic and world champion. Back then, winning was easy. Now as a coach, she's starting over.
It's not a champion team, just 3 girls have to compete. And I think it's a not champion team, but look not bad and nice. And we hope next generation be better.
The new generation of Australian gymnasts is already better. Joanna Hughes, world class. At the World Championships in Brisbane, Hughes excited crowds. Australia has become a force to be reckoned with. Routines are now slick and precise. It's come because of hard work in China's Zhu Ping. Discipline and focus are the keys, and the coaches ensure the work is done.
I'm not really sure. I can't give you a strict answer. Who is the gold medalist? I can't. Because I not really carefully look at every country. I only concentrate for my teams.
Canada is coached by Russia's Alex Bard. 3 of the 4 team members are from his club in Mississauga, including international favorite Stella Ume. Bard says the influx of gymnastics expertise to the Commonwealth countries is making a huge difference. The sport is becoming more competitive all over the globe.
It's Russians against Russians, Russians against Chinese, Russians against Romanians, but overall, sport of gymnastics going to win because we're getting better.
The reach of the gymnastics heartland is growing every day, from Canada to Australia, where Zhu Ping's wisdom has already had a huge effect in philosophy and in results, to Northern Ireland, where an Olympic champion gives new hope to a whole new generation of gymnasts. Ron?
Thank you very much, Alfie. Well, one of the coaches, your tail, and so do the eyes. The name is Stella. That's all anyone needs to know. It tells the whole magical story. Dig a little deeper and you'll find a treasure. 4 years ago, Stella Ume got a last-minute call to Auckland. She nailed a vault, won plenty of hearts in New Zealand, and back home in Canada. She helped her country claim team gold again. Not bad for a 14-year-old substitute just off the plane.
I wasn't scared at all. I was just like, I'm really tired. I'm really tired. I really would like to go to sleep, but you know, I got to train. No, I got to compete. Oh my goodness, I have to compete. I went out there, did my job, went back, and went to bed.
No time for Stella to rest now. No time to falter. At 19, this team is her oyster, and they think she knows the way to gold again at the Commonwealth Games. This will be Stella's stage this afternoon, the podium at Memorial Arena in downtown Victoria. Team gold is on the line for Canada, and Canada is attempting to defend a Commonwealth Games championship. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Memorial Arena. Scott Russell along with Alfie Schlegel. You know, Alfie, a lot's happened in 4 years to Stella Ume. She was a substitute in Auckland, won a gold medal, has since won a couple of Canadian championships and become an international star. Now she gets a chance to lead.
Scott, you know, 4 years ago, Stella didn't have a clue what was happening to her. Actually, I think it was the best thing that ever happened. She didn't have a chance to think about the competition. She did her job. Well, the scenario has changed 4 years later. She is by far the most experienced athlete on this team, and hopefully that experience will rub off on some of the younger team members as they hope for a 3rd consecutive gold medal.
Kind of a bit of a different situation as compared to the men yesterday. This time, Canada is quite clearly the favorite. Where do you see the challenges coming from?
Well, first of all, it's the same old game. You have to hit your routines in a team competition. I'll be surprised if Canada doesn't walk away with this team title. But as you mentioned, the challenge will come from Australia. They have a star in Joanna Hughes. You know, this is a team that has improved greatly over the years. They're well trained. They're a fantastic team, and they will present the greatest challenge to Canada.
All right, Canada with team gold on the line. They won in '78 and in 1990. They go for a 3rd in a row right here at Memorial Arena.
All right, Scott, diving still at Alfie Schlegel.
Memorial Arena in downtown Victoria. Capacity here is 5,000, and the venue is sold right out for the women's team competition. Scott Russell along with Alfie Schlegel as you take a look at 15-year-old Jamie Hill of Brampton, Ontario. This may be the biggest moment of her competitive career to date, the Commonwealth Games Championships, and Jamie expected to be a key member of this Canadian team.
No question, Scott. Jamie should contribute big time for this Canadian team. Interesting, she's just starting off her young international career. Stella Ume is finishing things off here at the Commonwealth Games, but don't let that fool you. She may be young, but she is hot stuff, and this is a dynamite floor routine.
.33rd all around at the Brisbane World Championships. This is a very active routine.
You know, the Canadians have been having problems staying in bounds. The 40 by 40, it may not seem like a huge mistake, but in a team competition, that's a 0.1 deduction. They've already had 2 from their previous 2 competitors.
Those 2 competitors, Stacey Galloway and Lisa Symes, both have stepped out of bounds, so to speak, a 10th of a deduction for each one of those mistakes. Coached by Alex Bard at Gymnastics Mississauga. A case of some nerves in that first routine for her.
I think so, Scott. Not quite the performance I expected from Jamie. It was nicely done. The choreography was on, but the tumbling, I don't know if she just has a little bit too much energy to spare today. Starting on floor exercise, sometimes you can get that way. You just want to pour it all on early in this competition, but she definitely had some little deductions the judges can certainly take points off of.
Now move to the major competitors for Team Canada in this team event, Australia, and they send Ruth Moniz up onto the beam.
Now Ruth is their anchor. She's lovely on this exercise. Take a look at her body lines, that toe point. That's just fantastic, and obviously that's from the great training of Zhu Ping, the head coach of this team. Very solid on her acrobatic skills, 2 consecutive layouts. Had a chance to peek over and watch the previous competitors from the Australian team. They seem a little bit rattled. Some unexpected wobbles. They haven't fallen off the apparatus, but they have some low scores up to this point, with the exception of Joanna Hughes, 9.575. Take a look at this move, a full twisting back handspring. So far, Ruth is anchoring this team well.
Ruth Moniz, 16 years old, from New South Wales. The Australians, a burgeoning power in gymnastics. Joanna Hughes, their big star, as you mentioned, already scored very well on the beam.
This team made a huge statement back in 1991 at the World Championships in Indianapolis, placing 6th in the world. Believe me, their goal is to stay there. She had trouble on that dismount in warm-up, but she pulled it together. Double pike dismount. Great ending for the Aussie.
And now the enigmatic Stella Ume of Canada, floor exercise, and she's made a change here.
Brand new routine, needs to hit the tumbling. God, it doesn't get much better than that. That was a spectacular opening, double layout. She's solid.
years ago in Auckland, she was a substitute. Now she's the team captain. Nice performance on the floor by Stella.
Nice performance, but Scott, she is not going to be happy with that last tumbling pass. She knows that she missed a very important combination in that final tumbling run. You can see it. It's written all over her face. The choreography was original. That's due to her sister Anastasia, who is the choreographer of this routine, and that's Stella's sister. Take a look at her opening tumbling run. Excellent. Double layout, beautiful height, great body position, and she nailed the landing. This was her second tumbling pass, I believe. Very original, a whip through to an immediate double back. Believe me, that combination is extremely tough to do, to get enough height on that double salto from just that simple whip back. The timing has to be right on, but it was the final tumbling pass that gave her some problems.
Stella's face always very expressive. The two-time Canadian champion, 19 years old, has completed her run at the floor exercise. A 9.525 is the result for the captain of this Canadian women's team as they now move on to their next challenge in the women's team event. Canada will be heading to the vault and should be able to make up some ground. They're in a major competition, however, with Australia in this team event. After one rotation, South Africa has the lead, but they were in this morning's session. They will be caught. Canada is now leading amongst the second session countries, but only slightly over England and Australia.
The 15th Commonwealth Games on CBC. Brought to you by IBM Canada Limited. Canon, proud to be an official sponsor of the 15th Commonwealth Games. Labatt, good things brewing across Canada. Lotto 649. And by the Government of British Columbia.
Rotation number 2, and this is Lisa Symes of Regina, Saskatchewan for Team Canada. Now trains in Ontario with the Winstonettes under the direction of Coach Debbie Vidmar, the first of 2 vaults.
Nicely done. You know, in today's competition, in the team event, they're going to take the best vault of the 2. That's the advantage the women have in team competition, and she can feel pretty good about having a first great vault. It's a front summy in a tuck position with a half twist. The maximum value of this vault, the start value, is 9.8. You see plenty of height. She knows exactly where she is. Good alignment, good distance from the horse.
There's Coach Debbie Vidmar in the background, looking on as Lisa Symes, second all around at the Canadian Championships in 1993.
Now, not to confuse the audience, but that 9.8 indicates the start value of the vault. You'll see this on this screen. As well, the number above the 9.8 will indicate the number of the vault she's performing.
There's a look at the Prince Edward, the president of the Commonwealth Games Federation, who's in attendance today here at Memorial Arena. Just one of 5,000 spectators to see this women's team event. And we are awaiting now the second vault of Lisa Symes.
This is, of course, one of Lisa's strengths, the vault as well as the floor exercise. She can better this vault by sticking it if she can. Same second vault, and I believe the landing was slightly better. The score should go up a tiny bit.
Congratulations from Canadian head coach Alex Bard. Remember, they will take the best of the 2 vaults.
And it's their choice whether they want to perform the same second vault or not. Lisa chose to perform the front summy with a half twist. It's a front on in a front summy position, cranks a half twist, looks for a landing, and as I said, I think the landing was slightly better than the first.
Lisa now moving back to the Canadian team waiting area. She's done her second rotation and now awaiting the marks. All 4 competitors for each team must complete each apparatus, and there are 4. The best 3 scores are kept for each country. And they all become a total towards a grand total for the team. And at the end of the day, the team with the most points, of course, wins the team competition. There are the 2 scores for Lisa Symes. The first a 9.050, the second a 9.475. She'll keep that score. And this is Jamie Hill now, who we saw earlier on the floor exercise her first vault.
Now Jamie's vault, she's planning to do a vault that's scored out of a 9.9. A little different variation in this vault. Again, it's very difficult today. After Barcelona, they devalued many of women's vaults simply because they were being overused. A Cuervo in a pike position, a little bit rough on her landing. That's where the judges are going to take some minor deductions.
Jamie getting some words of advice from Canadian coach Alex Bard, one of 3 members of this Canadian team from Gymnastics Mississauga and coached by Alex Bard.
Actually, it didn't look very bad in the air at all. It was nicely performed. It was just the landing. It's a front-on approach. She wants to crank a half twist and then pulls her legs back to do a back stummy in a pike position. You can see she was scrambling around a little bit on the landing. That's something she needs to really concentrate on for the second vault, because the opportunity is there. It's there for the taking. You just have to be neat and clean and stick the landings. They're so important.
Jamie, only 15 years old, showed tremendous poise, Alfie, in Australia at the World Championships. There's her first score, 9.425. She'll try to better that and drop the 9.425. The value here, the start value, a 9.9.
Jamie's going to do the same second vault. Most of the women in the team competition choose to do the same vault twice. However, when we get down to the event finals, things are a little bit different. They have to perform 2 different vaults. No, just didn't have the gusto on that. I think she overcompensated. She had a little bit too much to give on that first vault. This time opened up a tad bit too early. She paid the price.
Certainly some disappointment there on the face of Jamie Hill. Another look.
The same vault, as I said, front-on approach, but just didn't have the height there, Scott. You can see she came down very quickly, crunched the ankles. Believe me, that does not feel very good.
And so we anticipate that Jamie Hill will be keeping that 9.425 as her result in this second rotation. And she's very disappointed, Alfie, with the result. 8.825 is the score for the second vault, so indeed she keeps the 9.425 and is done rotation number 2. She'll be moving on to the bars, the uneven bars, next along with the rest of the Canadian team. Now we move to the Australian effort in this team competition and to the floor exercise, and this is Sally Wills.
The Australians traditionally are not very strong on floor exercise. They do, however, have the choreography, the form, and I really believe that that's what's important in today's competition. In the team event, you want 4 strong routines. That's what it takes to win a gold medal, 4 strong efforts.
Sally is 14 years old, from Western Australia. Talking to some of her coaches, they say that Sally has a reputation for being too easygoing, just too nice, perhaps doesn't have the killer instinct that you need in this very demanding sport.
Well, I'll tell you something, Scott. She needs the killer instinct today because she's last up for this team on floor exercise. She needs to put in the best effort of her life at this moment. The team needs a strong floor exercise performance from Sally. Last person up, that's an automatic 0.5 deduction.
Sally Wills, the youngest competitor today at Memorial Arena, 14 years old. Well, the Australians have left the door open for Team Canada to make up some ground. Australia not nearly as strong as they hoped to be on the floor exercise.
No, not at all. And for this performance, the choreography was nice. The tumbling was very simple. And in today's competition, a lot of them tend to water down their tumbling moves. But the opening, she just gave it away with a major fall right off the top of her floor routine. As I said, the tumbling was fairly simple. This was the middle tumbling pass, two whip backs, the opening tumbling pass to a double back, and there's where the mistake occurred. Just a little too much over rotation and an automatic 0.5 deduction.
Sally Wills, 14 years old, trying to shake that one off. And here is Stella Ume of Canada with her first vault. Stella, the anchor for this Canadian team on this apparatus. Very powerful.
Beautiful Stella style. This is her event. She's very powerful. She can do this vault in her sleep, Scott. Its value is only a 9.8. She's playing it safe, just trying to get maximum value out of this vault. It's a Yurchenko style, round off, back handspring onto the horse. Nice, clean, full twist in the air. The only deduction really was the hop on the landing. You can see the distance from the horse, beautifully done. Nice laid out, stretched body. Just needs one more.
Tight off the horse, exceptional for Stella Ume. She will be attending the University of California at Los Angeles in September. 9.675 is the score of the first vault. As you say, Alfie, trying to get maximum value out of the 9.8 start value. There it is again.
Fantastic score when you consider the value of the vault is only 9.8. She really did max out because she took some real small steps on the landing. If she can clean up the landing, she might just find that she can squeak out a 9.7.
Little smile from Stella there. Looking confident.
Same second vault now. She stuck the landing, but she was a little low. She kept her chest down for quite some time. It'll be interesting to see the judges will boost it up to a 9.7 or the same score.
Well, Coach Alex Bard loves it. Looks like Stella does too. We remember that vault, and we saw it in our opening from the Auckland Games where Stella came in as a substitute. Looks like she's done the job off the horse again.
Really nice, Scott. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than this. This is as well as she could perform this vault. You can see ever so slight. Same score.
She'll keep the 9.675. Both those vaults very close. So Stella Ume has indeed helped anchor the Canadian team and made up some ground on the vault and on the Australian. Sally Wills with a score of 8.85. And so the Aussies had their difficulty on the floor exercise. They will be moving on to the vault and hope to score well there. And a very disappointed Sally Wills. The women's team competition from Memorial Arena continues.
Scott Russell and
rotation number 2 continues at Memorial Arena. The women's team competition. This is Zita Lusak of England, 16 years old.
You know, Scott, the English are really doing a job here. I didn't expect them to come out of the starting block quite as strongly as they did on balance beam. I think what I'm seeing here is just consistency, and that's what team competition is all about.
Competed at the World Championships in 1993 in her home country. At Birmingham was 36th all around there. And the English are starting to become a surprise story.
A lot can be said about being the underdogs. I think this competition was billed as a showdown between Canada and Australia, but these guys are not giving up at all. They are putting in consistent performances, and they certainly are looking a lot better in the competition than they did in practice. A beautiful 2.5 twist to a punch front, just an indication of some of the strength in this floor exercise, which was her tumbling. Final tumbling run, whipped through to a double twist, very tough to do. A similar move like Stella, only Stella performed a double back, and there's that start value, 9.8 for this routine. She cannot go any higher than a 9.8.
9.475 for Zita Lusak of England on the floor exercise. Takes a well-deserved drink of water as she awaits the routine of her teammate Annika Reeder at 14, the youngest competitor here.
But a whole lot of maturity to this athlete. She is a treat to watch and is very good anchoring this English team on the floor exercise.
7th at the European Championships on this apparatus. Looking somehow similar to the world champion Shannon Miller of the United States.
Very similar look, body line, height, same hair. Very mature routine for Annika. It's playful, yet it is mature. She's doing a great job. The tumbling is there. Great combination. She saved herself, almost went out of bounds. Scott, this was a strong effort. This routine worked for her style, her personality. She has to be awfully pleased, as does the English team.
Congratulations from Coach Vincent Walduck. Another look at the tumbling pass of Annika Reeder of England.
A 1.5 twist that's called a Rudy. She continues on with more combination tumbling, moving into a double twist. You can see that right foot came awfully close to stepping out of bounds, but she saved it. The tumbling was strong. I was really impressed with this floor exercise routine, and as you mentioned, 7th at the European Championships. You can see why. Front tumbling, again, another 1.5 twist. That's a move that has been upgraded, and you can see the start value is at a complete 10.0.
And the result for Annika Reeder is a 9.725, an outstanding floor routine for England here in the team championship. And that moves England ahead of Canada after 2 rotations. So a great job by Annika Reeder of England. Championship at Memorial Arena. Zita Lusak of England now on the vault, her first of 2.
Not a bad first effort. They've already put in 2 very fine vaults from their first 2 competitors. You know, this English team, they're in their own little world. They don't care who else is in this competition. They're just out there to do their job, focusing in on every routine. This vault is out of a 10.0, a little offside. Some deductions there. It's a Yurchenko-style vault. There's the backflip onto the horse, and then an Arabian on the second half of this vault. As I said, the deductions will occur from the landing.
In a surprise, after 2 rotations, England leads by 1/10 of a mark over Canada and by 0.65 over Australia. 1, 2, 3, England, Canada, and Australia halfway through this competition. Remember, 2 vaults. Zita Lusak will keep the best score of the 2.
They're really counting on Zita's vault score here. She has a chance to up the the first score or to do even better. We haven't seen the score yet, but the other competitors have performed vaults that are only out of a 9.8. She's the only one on the team, I believe, that is doing a vault that is valued from a 10.0.
"16 years old, Anita Lusak. There are the judges. There's the first score, a 9.6 for Zita Luzak. So she does score very well and has the ability to score better here. As you say, Alfie, this is out of a perfect 10.
Remember, there have been very few competitors who have done any vaults that are out of a 10.0, so she's really going to take advantage of this. That is why you're seeing a higher score. Stella Ume performed an outstanding vault, but the maximum value was a 9.8. All she needs to do is clean up the landing. And she does. Much better second vault, better alignment with the horse. This score is going up.
Outstanding effort by Zita Lusak of England. And England is definitely surprising the rest of the field here at Memorial Arena.
The difficulty with this vault, Scott, is it's a blind landing. She doesn't know where she is until her feet slap that floor. Obviously, everything went her way on this second vault, much improved. There's the half twist, the Arabian in the air, and a much better landing.
Now back into the waiting area goes Zita Luzak. Up next for England will be Jackie Brady, the anchor in the vault competition for England, Jackie Brady. There's the score, 9.65. Alfie, she'll keep that score, and England is on the move again. Jackie Brady, 5 gold medals at the British Championships. No woman has ever done that in her country.
Vaulting, definitely one of Jackie's strengths. She's powerful. She'll use that to her advantage. She's supposedly going to perform a vault, a front vault with a half twist. Maximum value 9.8.
A few last-minute words from Coach Vincent Walduck, and off she goes to the vault.
Nice job. 4 for 4. Not a problem for this English team. Again, the maximum value is a 9.8. The front style vault, there's the front handspring on, front twist off. You can see her look in the air, crank the half twist, just a small hop on the landing. Take a look at the distance that she gets from the horse. Plenty of distance, lots of height, a very clean looking vault.
Back to the runway now for Jackie Brady. Second vault, very focused here, Alfie.
The luxury in the team competition is she can relax now. She knows she has one good vault under her belt. She can improve on the landing, try to get those extra small tenths by sticking the landing.
9.55, the score for the first vault.
You can see the 9.8 on the bottom of your screen, the left-hand corner. That indicates the start value again for the second vault. Wow, what a strong effort. She had a whole lot of energy there. A little extra to give on that landing. She was hoping for a perfect stuck position.
There is the second vault score for Jackie Brady of England. It is a 9.5, so she will keep the 9.55. And England, again, is proving to be very strong in this team competition. Is being played out by the Canadian team. Stacey Galloway, who is about to approach the uneven bars, fell in her warm-up for the bars. She aggravated an injury to her right knee, is limping quite noticeably. But the Canadian team right now, Alfie, needs Stacey Galloway because their first competitor on the uneven bars, Lisa Symes, had some difficulty with the dismount. They'd like to drop that score and keep Stacey's.
This is going to be interesting. You have to wonder what's going through Stacey's mind. I mean, the fact that she had such a poor warm-up and not knowing what to expect now in this routine. Is the knee okay? But as you said, the team needs this score. Lisa went up, fell on her dismount. That's an automatic 0.5 deduction, and 8.7. They would like to drop that score. They can't afford any other mistakes.
And in an interesting and surprising development, England leads after 2 rotations by 1/10 of a point over Canada. And England has already been through this 3rd rotation, done quite well, and Canada now in the position of trying to catch up.
Stacey has a couple of interesting moves right off the top. This is known as the Galloway. That's her move, and she didn't complete it. She's having trouble right off the start. Big move right here. This is what she fell on, the Tkachev, and she hangs on. A little bit rough, and she's really, really struggling through this routine, Scott. This is not up to what Stacey Galloway is capable of doing, and this is the big question right here, the dismount.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was all guts on the part of Stacey Galloway.
Wow.
You can see the brace on her right knee, another one on her left knee, being helped off by Alex Bard.
I'll tell you, Scott, I'm not quite sure. She probably did more damage right there going through that routine and landing that hard. That is a gutsy performance, and that's a tough one. That hurt.
Well, the major consideration there was Canada needed her mark to count, but they also need her for the 4th and final rotation.
This was the move that she fell on in the warm-up. The Tkachev reverse heck, the big release skill in a routine, but boy, you have to wonder what was going through her mind at this point. Beautiful form in the air. She nailed it, actually came down very hard, but couldn't hang on to the land. You can see it in her face. What a tough break.
There's a look at Stacey Galloway down on the sidelines. And that knee taking a tremendous beating on the dismount. But what a courageous performance just to get up on the bars. Now we move to Australia, and Joanna Hughes, their superstar, on the vault.
This is the one weak event for the Australian team. Most of the women are performing the front handspring, front tuck mount, but it's only out of a 9.7. A very low-scoring vault in this competition, and I believe they have 3 competitors that are performing the same vault.
9.2 and 9.325 for Joanna Hughes. She'll keep the 9.325 and really won't do Australia any favors with that score. Teams are expected to make up some ground on the vault, and Australia has failed to do that. There's an 8.8 for Stacey Galloway on the uneven bars, and that in spite of an obvious injury to both her knees. So now the pressure falls squarely on the shoulders of Jamie Hill, the youngest member of this Canadian team. And it all comes down to this, Alfie. She's got to come up with a great routine.
Simply put, you just have to hit your routine, and Jamie has done this 1,000 times before, and she is being put in a very difficult position. 3rd person up for Canada. Needs a great one right here, Scott.
Canada has never lost team gold in women's gymnastics at the Commonwealth Games. Of course, Alfie, you were a part of that team in 1978, and then a handy win in 1990 in Auckland. Stella Ume, a part of that team. And everyone expected Team Canada to be the class of the field today at Memorial Arena. Now they're in trouble.
Release skill right off the top. Nicely done. She has one more of those skills planned. And she gets back up to the high bar. It's coming up right here. Second to Tkachev, nicely performed. I think the big concern, however, is Jamie's dismount. A very difficult double front with a half twist. She does the job.
Tell you what, when Team Canada needs a routine, they got it in the men's competition. They got a big one from Jamie Hill today.
A young competitor, but she's feisty. She'll pull it through when it counts. There's the Tkachev release skill, of which she had 2 in this routine. Lots of height, nicely performed. But the big skill was the dismount. double front with a half twist. She had some problems earlier in the week in practice, but she stuck it on the day that it counts most.
15-year-old Jamie Hill of Brampton, Ontario. We now move to the Canadians competitors. Sally Wills of Australia on the vault, 14 years old. Along with Annika Reeder, the youngest competitor here in the team event at Memorial Arena.
As I said, the Australians know they're coming in with some weak vaults, and boy, she's going to take a lot of deductions on that one. The top value, the top score she can get is a 9.7.
9.35 is the score that Sally Wills will keep. There's Jamie Hill in the waiting area, a 9.55, Alfie. So she did all she could do for the Canadian effort here at Memorial Arena.
And what she's done is she set up Stella Ume quite nicely. Stella, the score is there for the taking. She has an outstanding bar routine. If she can put it together, you might see one of the highest scores of the meet.
We saw her just wow a crowd of about 10,000 at Maple Leaf Gardens last November on this uneven bar routine. If there was ever a moment for her to be right in the zone, it's now.
This is where the team needs Stella's experience. As I said, she can do this routine in her sleep. This is an easy one for her. She needs to put it together. 2 release skills planned in this routine. There's the first. The same as Jamie Hill, 2 Tkachevs. It's coming up right here. It's all up to Stella, the dismount. They need this one. Double twist.
And she nails it.
Fantastic.
When it comes to the bars, Canada appears to be at its best. Yesterday in the men's competition, 2 successive high bar routines. Now on the uneven bars, Stella Ume and Jamie Hill may have saved the Canadian effort.
That was a tough job ahead of Stella, but you know something? Experience. She's 19 years old. She's been in this position before. Unbelievable work by Stella. And you know, this uneven bars routine, this is so greatly improved over the years. This is one of her best apparatus.
Canada with still one more apparatus to go, the beam. You can count on the fact that Stacey Galloway will not be there. We move to the vault again, and Ruth Moniz of Australia.
The only one to perform a different style vault. Ruth performed for Yurchenko with a full twist in a laid-out position. This one was out of a 9.8. Little trouble on the landing as well as some form breaks in the air. You can see she struggled to try to nail that landing.
Lisa Marski, your 4th and final event.
Ruth Moniz, a 9.475 is the score that she will keep. But the story has been Stella Ume and a recovered Canadian effort on the uneven bars. 2 great routines by Gymnastics Mississauga teammates Stella Ume and Jamie Hill as they march on to the 4th and final rotation. 9.675 for Stella. There's a look at the scores after 3 rotations. Remember, South Africa went earlier today. They will be caught. England in first position, 86.050. Canada 0.85 back. That's a lot of ground to make up in the 4th and final rotation. And a huge task facing Lisa Symes and Team Canada in this, the 4th and final rotation of the women's team competition. Scott Russell along with Alfie Schlegel. The Canadians are on the beam, but they're back of England, 0.85.
Basically, Scott, the task at hand is they have to hit all 3 routines. There's absolutely no room for error, and this is not the ideal event to end your competition on.
No room for error on the beam. Stacey Galloway, the 4th member of the Canadian team, is out of the competition with an injured left knee. So far, Lisa Symes is on the money.
She is on. She's hit some of her key difficulties in this routine. Been impressed with her since the national championships. She's come on very strong this year. I think a few people were surprised that she made this Commonwealth Games team. One mistake so far in the competition, that was on the uneven bars in her dismount. Nailed the dismount, and she's put in a fine balancing routine for this team.
We saw her have trouble with that routine at the 1993 Canadian Championships in Calgary. Lisa Symes, hugged by Coach Debbie Vidmar. Well, she's risen to the task here with Canadian gold on the line.
Well, she's come through like a true veteran. Believe me, it's not an easy task being the first one up. That sets the mood for the rest of the team, which there are only 2 left. Nice difficulty in this routine, and she ends it all with a double back in a tuck position, just one small step on the landing, but that was a nailed routine.
Lisa Symes back on the sidelines now. Remember, only 3 Canadians left in this competition. Now onto the uneven bars, and Joanna Hughes.
A bit of a surprise that Joanna, their key star, is the first one up on this apparatus. One release skill. You'll find some great body form from the Australians. That's in large part due to Zhu Ping's coaching. Dismount, full twisting, double back, and that's a solid routine.
Australians are not out of this one yet. 9.55 for Joanna Hughes. Big moment for Jamie Hill. 15 years old. Really, she has only 4 inches to work with.
She came through on uneven bars. It was really difficult in the warm-up when Stacy was laying on the ground and Jamie was standing there, didn't quite know what to do, if she should mount the bars. Boy, it's really tough. Not only is Stacy a teammate here on the Canadian team, but she's also her teammate back home at Gymnastics Mississauga.
Canadian team huddling. There's Stacey Galloway. A reminder that she is out of the competition, but there's the score for Lisa Symes. 9.625, Alfie, and that is a very encouraging sign, but desperate times here for the Canadian team.
Now, it's all over. Can't afford a fall. Jamie was awfully nervous in the warm-up.
Now it's a matter of pulling this together in order to contend perhaps for silver.
It's a shame because she's practicing right now, or competing, I should say. Everything that she does in the practice gym, day in and day out. A little bit cautious on that jump right there.
Rumored to be the next star of Canadian gymnastics. Problem with her mount on the balance beam here at the Commonwealth Games.
An automatic 0.5 deduction and a fall that the Canadian team could not afford, already having to make up some ground on the English team. Big dismount, 2 back handstands to a double back. What a shame. What a shame for Jamie Hill.
And you can see the disappointment in her stride and on her face. Perhaps an anger that she didn't do the job. Brought home by her teammate Lisa Symes. And And I'm afraid that the Canadian shot at gold here may be over.
And it all ended right here, Scott. Round off layout, really offside, really no hopes of holding that skill on the beam. I think the big question now is, can this team hang on to a silver medal?
And chasing them for that, the Australians. Remember, the English are still to compete here in the fourth and final rotation.
This is a very good team on this apparatus. They have all the skills, plus the form. Nice long line, stretching each handstand to the maximum point. Double front summy dismount. Great routine.
14-year-old Sally Wills and the Australians are coming up big on their final rotation, a 9-5. Zhu Peng likes the result. Those pictures tell the story of the Canadian drama which is unfolded here. Stacey Galloway out of the competition after the uneven bars, where she tried to hang on to that dismount, but the pain was just too much. And now she can only look on as Stella Ume, her teammate, her club mate, makes the final Canadian effort.
Big tumbling skill for Stella. The entire length of the balance beam, boy, is that impressive. Look at the look on her face. Back handspring to a quarter turn, that's a skill that has some bonus points.
Likely struggling for silver now.
New skill that Stella's added to her routine. She's going after it all. Cartwheel layout, a little bit of a break on the landing.
Sometimes says she does her routine to the beat of another competitor's music.
Just the dismount left. Round off, double back summy. She's done her job for this team. Truly a great anchor for Canada.
Crowd loves her here in Victoria. Tough moment for the Canadians.
It all went right from the very beginning for Stella on this routine. Very difficult round off layout mount, totally blind. Boy, was she on that one. Right to the end, her dismount, round off, double back. She performs these skills with such ease.
With her Gymnastics Mississauga teammate Stacey Galloway, Stella Ume accepting congratulations. Everyone's sharing a tear. .975, the best mark we've seen today. An outstanding result for Stella Ume of Canada. And she will most assuredly come out of this team competition having qualified first for the all-around competition. Ruth Moniz of Australia now on the uneven bars. And the Australians desperately trying to move up on a wounded Canadian team.
She is a dynamo on this event. A lot of different skills. Front giant, look at the form. Beautiful execution right through to that Jaeger release skill. front giant getting set for a dismount. Double front semi. Whoa, big over rotation. And a 0.5 deduction for that skill.
And so Australia is finished. And Canada is finished. England is still to come with a shot at Commonwealth Games gold. As we take one more look at the routine of Ruth Moniz.
Impressive bar work by the entire Australian squad. Great difficulty. But what makes their work so impressive are their clean lines, their handstands, toe points. That's Anastasia, Stella's sister.
All they can do now is wait as England gets a shot at gold. Now, just two competitors that really count. The first is Zita Luzak. England midway through its final rotation on the uneven bars, and so far they have had little difficulty. Canada is in the clubhouse and can do no worse than a silver medal. If England falters, Canada could retain gold. It's up to Zita Luzak.
And she is not giving away anything at this point. Giant full twist into her release skill. Beautiful ginger. She works back down to the low bar. One of the requirements, it is beginning to look more like men's high bar all the time. But they do have to touch the low bar at least twice. This is a great routine. No problems at all. Just the dismount double twist. I think she's done her job.
16-year-old Zita Luzak of England. Second all around at the 1992 British Championships. And wouldn't it be a feather in her cap to nail down a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games for her country.
There's her one release skill in this bar routine. It's called a ginger. And then the dismount from a giant swing. She got set for a double twist. Very clean, very tight in the air. And just a very small baby step on the dismount, but really, she's done the job for the team. You can expect a score in the 9s.
And there is just one more competitor for England, that being the team captain, the anchor, Jackie Brady. Nervous time for Zita as she waits for that score. Could be a breakthrough for England. They had hoped to claim team gold in the men's competition yesterday. They failed there. An injury to Paul Bowler, one of their more experienced team members. And Canada retained the gold medal. Here, Canada was favored to win. England very much the dark horse.
And isn't that the case? You know, it was very interesting right from the start. Didn't expect them to do as well as they did on balance beam. A very tough event to start the competition on, but really no pressure on this team. We were talking to our English counterparts. They didn't even expect the team to do this.
There's Stacey Galloway of Team Canada. Reminder of that story. She's now on crutches. In her warm-up for the uneven bars, she went down, fell off the bars, injured her left knee, already had an injury to her right knee, tried to compete in the uneven bars, and on the dismount made the injury worse and could not compete on the beam. And so Team Canada with a disastrous late go here in the team competition to make this gold medal available to England. There is the start value for Zita Luzak's routine, out of a perfect 10. So you can expect, with few mistakes, that her score should be quite high. And the scores are coming extremely slowly here at Memorial Arena.
And this has been surprising, and you know, the audience is really tired of this as well. With one competitor left in this competition, or at least from the team that's going to make the difference in the outcome, I'm surprised that they're not getting the scores out a little bit quicker. Tough for Jackie Brady, the anchor of this team on this event. There we go, 9.425.
9.425. And that means that England has claimed the gold medal in women's team gymnastics. Team Canada and Captain Stella Ume will have to settle for silver.
Andre, say cheese.
In Canada, in spite of some pretty mighty odds after Stacey Galloway went down with an injury. Stella, tell us how you're feeling about that silver medal, first of all.
We earned it. We deserve it. We went out there and we fought against all odds. We overcame major obstacles because we lost Stacey, but we still did it, and we did it for her.
A very emotional time for the Canadian team after Stacey went down and she attempted the uneven bar routine. It was a pretty gutsy performance on her part. What can you say about that and about how you're feeling about the disappointment of losing a gold medal?
Losing the medal is nothing. It doesn't even match to losing Stacey. I mean, Stacey is a team player and an asset to the Canadian team, and because we lost her, we lost way more than a medal.
You went out and nailed a beam routine that was absolutely spectacular. Tell us about that one. You qualified first on 3 of the apparatus. You did your job. Tell us about what you look forward to in terms of your all-around performance now.
I'm just going to go out there tomorrow and Sunday and just go out there and do exactly, or Monday, sorry. Just go out there and do exactly what I did today. No changes. I'm going to take my training and put it in competition gym.
Can you wrap up this whole day, Stella? Everybody was crying down in that pit for a while. What was it like to be a Canadian?
Oh, it was the proudest moment of my whole entire life.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
The 15th Commonwealth Games on CBC. Brought to you by IBM Canada Limited. Canon, proud to be an official sponsor of the 15th Commonwealth Games. Labatt, good things brewing across Canada. Lotto 649. And by the Government of British Columbia.
Well, I guess it's what makes sports exciting. You never can predict what's going to happen. Who would have believed that England would have gone home with a gold medal in this women's team competition? We thought it was Canada and Australia all the way, and then disaster strikes the home side.
Scott, I most certainly did not expect this result. 2 days ago in practice, the English team did not look as good as they did today in this competition, and I think the key to their success was their consistency. They certainly stuck together. They were psyched throughout the entire competition. They didn't even worry about who was around them.
Big injury to Stacey Galloway takes her out of the Commonwealth Games. Let's put a positive spin on it, though. Stella Ume was absolutely outstanding. She qualified for all 4 event finals, qualified #1 in the all-around competition. What more can you say about Stella?
Not a whole lot. She was a class act out there. She certainly helped this team to the bitter end. And you know, when the going got tough in that last half of the competition, she maintained her composure. Truly an experienced athlete. She was spectacular. I really enjoyed watching her today.
All right, Alfie. Stella Ume gets a chance to be the Commonwealth gold medal champion tomorrow when we return to Memorial Arena.
All right, Scott Russell and Alfie